So today, in my newly found hour and a half, 2 hours between work and my evening things that COVID has introduced into my life, I get outside, I take a walk. I've been doing this more lately, and decide I'm gonna, time I'm gonna make a little picnic. I'm gonna bring it to the park and read some of this book I've been reading. And so I get there. It's beautiful. Sun is shining. I find the picnic bench. I get out my little handy wipe, soaked in hydrogen peroxide, and I wipe down the picnic bench before sitting at it. And I get there and I start cutting up my apple and my cheese to snack on, and open my book, and it's just beautiful, and the waves are crashing, and it just couldn't be better. And then it occurs to me that I'm not at the beach, and I look around, and the noise is being made by the caution tape fluttering in the wind as it hangs from the big toy that the kids can no longer play with. And it was strange because it was like, it's still kind of beautiful sounding, but it's like so dark at the same time. So then this family, this dad and I think 3 or 4 kids come, and 2 or 3 of them are big enough to be like running on their own, and they run by me on this path, and it's still 6 feet away, but it's kind of a little closer to my comfort. And these are kind of out of control kids. You never know, they could kind of veer towards you at any second. So I'm a little bit like shaken, and the dad from behind me says, Casey, or whatever her name is, stay away from the people. And she's running, and she's just like, no. And it was like simultaneously like super cute kid thing. Like, she's heard this so many times, and she's exerting her authority. And it's like she's a fucking terrorist. Like both. And it feels like that is what COVID is starting to do. It's like making, it's sort of like bringing the darkness that's in the goodness, and the goodness that's in the darkness, like this dual nature. It's like bringing it all to the surface simultaneously. This has kind of been evolving, I think, for us for a while. Before, like, I think 20 years ago it was just a postmodern idea, and like now it's in Hollywood. You see every bad guy's got to have a story about how they were once good, and how the Joker came to be, yada yada. But it's like COVID's like doing that to everybody and everything now. It's like it's this horrible sort of like Armageddon-ish situation. And yet, like, I'm finding all this newfound freedom in my life. There's like space to explore and feel like I have choices to make with my time. And it's not just like stumbling home out of energy, and all I can do to like keep flip on a few Netflix shows for a couple hours before going to bed and getting back to the grind. And then there's this we're at this point now, it's about 7 weeks in, where it's kind of like the people that you haven't talked to yet, I'm starting to feel it's like a little awkward. Like, I have this one person in mind who, like, thought he was a pretty good friend. I mean, I still think he is. Every few months we'll like get together and do something, go to a movie, get something to eat, whatever. Generally have a great time together. But like, he hasn't called me, and I haven't called him, and like we're 7 weeks in. And it's like, I don't know if he's dead, or sick. I have like a severe health condition that he knows about. So he hasn't like called to check in on me, and like I haven't reached out. So at this point, it's like kind of like if you call now, it's like, how good of friends can you really be? Like, there's that awkwardness about like why we haven't been in touch. So that's an interesting question. Like, is there like a coronavirus hump that, once you get over it, it's kind of like, yeah, everybody who mattered kind of got in before that, and now it's just sort of like separating the wheat from the chaff. So those are the coronavirus moments for today. Yeah. All right. Stay safe, everybody. Talk to you later.